This tutorial will focus on one of the 7 model-only tools in Model Builder. This one will be the Get Field tool. Get Field tool, I think you could compare it, if you remember from our Python lessons, to a search cursor in so much that it allows you to kind of get a value from a certain field, store it as a temporary variable, and then use it moving forward. So we're going to do a simple one in Model Builder. Right, here we have neighborhoods, right, and there's the population of those neighborhoods. And maybe we want to define each neighborhood not simply by how many people live in it, but by its percent, right, of the total population, in this case of Philadelphia. So we know how we would do this very simply in desktop, right? We would just right-click, get what the total population was, copy it, and then create a field calculator where we divided each by the population. But imagine you were running a model in Model Builder, and one that was iteratively working its way through, all of the neighborhoods in tons of geographic cities that were saved in different shapefiles. Or imagine if you were doing an analysis, right? And that analysis brought together some different files with spatial joins, dissolves, so on and so forth, so that you didn't know what the numbers would be right off, and you weren't going to have access to this field or to this attribute table. But behind the scenes, you wanted to do that same process, right? Do some kind of statistic, store a value, and then use that value to calculate fields. Right? So the way that we would do that, create a model. And first thing we're going to do, we have all these fields, and we need a way, right, to get this total here. Right? It's easy to consider. Oops, where am I going? How we get this total with our desktop view, right? It's always easier when we just have our mouse and we don't have to think in Python script or whatnot. We would just get a statistic. But if we didn't really have access to that, we needed to use a tool. Right? The best way to summarize any information and perform a statistic on it is summary statistic. Right, so we drag that in. Right, this would be if we wanted to dissolve based on a field, but we don't. We simply want to just calculate total population for all of Philly. And we don't really need this, so we can store it in our in-memory, call it pop summary. So that'll be stored here. Right? Tough to think about now, but if you use these tools enough, you'll know that what you're going to get back here is, right, you start with however many fields, 158, but this table would only have one field, right, because it's taking all those 158 and it's smushing them and calculating a statistic. That's why it'll work with the get field value now, because get field value only gets the value from the first record, right? So if we ran it on get field, for example, it would only get the value stored here in Bridesburg, right? It would only take the value 6573. Here, right, it's performing the same function in that it's getting the first record, but we'll add this to our display just so we can see. You'll see that there is only one record, so there's only one field that it could get. Oops, forgot to tell it, right? You're getting that. What field are you getting? You're going to be getting the sum of the population. What should we store it as? Right, this is important because it'll do a conversion, I believe, so that you can use it as an input in something else. Right, and we're going to want to do some kind of function or equation, so we'll make it a long, which is an integer. All right, so I've got something stored as value. That's helpful. Now what do I need to do? Right, I need to calculate the percentage using this value. Right, I know what the total is. I've created a field previously %pop, right? But I could go to data management and I could add a field if need be. I already have the one, so I'm just going to bring in my kind of calculate field. Oops. Oops. That's interesting. That's my friend. He's going to be famous in a video. Oops, easy. He's going to be famous in 2 videos. Hopefully he won't make 3. All right, so we'll take this, Okay, what are we calculating on? Well, we're going to calculate based on, oops, there we go. We're going to calculate based on that is where we're going to actually do the calculations in. Right. Field name, we'll be calculating in percent population. Our expression, since we're going to be calling a value, you don't see one stored here, but it will essentially be whatever your population is divided by percent value. Right? We can use the inline substitution here the same way we use it elsewhere. It's going to be VB. No need for a code block because we're doing nothing crazy. Model, run the model. Boop-a-doo-boop-a-doo. It's going through everything. Right? It added the pop summary just like I asked it to. So I could show you how it's only going to have one row. It took 158 records and made it into, this is the population. I open up the get field and I go over now and you can see that we have in fact created a percent population, right, based on dividing some number by the total population of Philadelphia. And very coolly, if you organize, right, you can see they're following the same scale, right? So Oxford Circle has the proportionally highest population in Philadelphia, not necessarily anything wild there. It is a very large neighborhood, right? Olney, West Oak Lane, Mayfair, Cobbs Creek, Somerton, so on and so forth, based on the size of these neighborhoods. So we did get field in a very simple way here. And you can also imagine we could link it with an iterator. Right? You could iterate, maybe run through feature classes, and then use get field to temporarily save the value stored in some field, right? And then use that in the function, right? So it can be both used in congruence with summary statistics, and it's good there because, right, get field only takes one value, right? Only take the first value of the field it comes across, or you can use it in an iterator, right, where it'll only take one value because only one record is selected at a time.